Welcome on in, you guys. Let's see if oh, like look at. Let's see. I am learning how it all works. Welcome in. Hello, everybody. I'm Kay, your host, and this is Lana Collier, my co-host. We are having a happy Monday. I hope you guys missed us. It's only been, a few hours, right? A little bit of craziness, but happy Monday. I hope you guys have a very good weekend. You guys can see I'm on StreamYard here today. Oh, I can hear myself. Hold on. So hopefully notifications are coming on for you guys. Let me see if I can see comments here, since we are working on different thing here. There we go. Comments. Hello. Yes, I disappeared. But didn't that kind of look like a fancy intro? We had a little countdown. We had a little bit of music. Yeah. So it's not like it's showtime. I always feel like, when I'm getting ready for going on, it's like feeling a little rocking music or something, like, okay, I'm going to get ready. Here we go. Each and every time still, I get a little, excited to be on, but at the same time, you're on. Right? No. All right, so a few announcements. It was an incredible weekend with you guys. We had a Friday afternoon. We also had a Sunday afternoon playing with all sorts of stuff. We went through so many fun gifts and bags that it was insane. And now I'm looking at all of the things that I got to prepare. I'm used to little beads, and now we're getting into some bigger things. And so, but I'm excited to get you guys ready for the holidays. Hopefully some of you guys got your Christmas shopping done, and here we go. And it helped you get there. So today I'm excited because we have a guest that we're bringing in, and we're doing a little make along. And maybe you guys got a kit, but if you didn't, I think that she still has some kits. But let me we can ask her. We can ask her as people are signing on. Let me see if I can add her to the stage and say hi.
Hey, everybody.
It's Paula Montgomery of Desert Cat Creations. Let me see if I can put up her info. We were taking a look at what we were thinking about making today. Let me put up your uh, little banner there, and then they have lots of new things here. We can put this is Desert Cat Creations with for you, and this is what we're planning on doing here today. Do you still have some of those Peacock kits? I know that you had a promo going on. Is that still going on?
I do have Peacock kits, and right now they're 25% off or buy two, get one free.
So I know that you had this Black Friday sale going on, and we thank you for supporting small business.
And it's still going on through Thursday
Okay, good.
midnight.
All right, so it's like kind of like Cyber Monday right now.
It is, yes.
Anyway, so so 25% off, and so you can kind of get a glimpse of what we are looking at creating with you guys today. If you didn't get your kit, you can still get it, okay? And then catch us on the replay still. And enjoy a little bead therapy, or just make something on your table. If you're part of our Star Special Stash group, I love if you hop on over there and share a little bit of your bead life and seeing what's on your table, what's on your space. That's always fun to see. And so I have the package right here. And so for those that might be new, this is Paula Montgomery. She is of Desert Cat Creations, and she is the innovator and creator of these amazing cards. So if you are feeling ever like that you are in a bead rut, or kind of thinking, I don't know what to make, but I have just so many beads, right? So this kind of helps to inspire you to get to creating. And let's see, it's called the Bead Stash Challenge Kit. You can get those, and then you've gotten some expansion packs. Is that correct?
Right, so the cards and all the expansion packs are also part of my sale.
Oh, nice.
So again, it's buy two, get one free, and 25% off either one item or anything over three.
All right, so kits, and to get you started. And so oftentimes they're going to have, so if you're not familiar, you can join her page. You do a weekly poll to kind of continue creating. That was part of, what, I like to think might have been inspired to say, hey, this would be great for beaders, right, Paula? And so it has different things like the challenge. So, and what you're going to make. So there are different options that you would pull. So if you need a little inspiration today, let's pull for some people, huh? So
We could do that.
I'm gonna take a poll here, and you guys can put this in the Star Special Stash group, and let's see what you guys are making. Okay, right? Today we're gonna do a make along, and we're gonna as she shows us how to make this peacock kit. We'll see if mine gets created as I run around with a baby too. But I always love the colors of the peacock kit, so we'll take a look and see what was in it. But let's do a little quick poll, like this as make a pendant. All right, that is your make item. And then how many uses? Let's see, or do we have some people in the chat? How many use cards should I choose 1 through 5? 1 through 5. Can we get a vote on how many use cards? And I love the back of her cards too. These are always so very cool. And you
probably recognize a lot of those beads.
Well, and yeah, it maybe that's what it also feels like. It feels like I'm in my own treasure trove. And but they're so color coordinated, so like even if they fall all over the ground, it's pretty quick pickup. It's not too bad. All right, it looks like 3. Look at how many people said 3. All right, we're choosing 3 choice cards. I don't know. Pendant doesn't have too many beads on it sometimes. So, all right. Well, but they're always different. All right. This one says use square or cube beads in your design. All right. That's choice number one. I mean, use number one. You got to make sure you use that. All right. Use at least, this ought to be good in a pendant. Use at least 5 different types of beads in your design. And obviously, one of them needs to be a square or a cube. Okay. All right. 3. It's a good thing we're not doing too many, right? Monica, you want to pull a card? You want to pull a card? You have to give it back to me. One card. Take one. You have that one. Oh, this is good. I don't know about this pull. Here, give me that other one, Monica. Let me see the other card she pulled. All right, this will be okay. Use a seed bead. Use seed beads in your design. The other one she pulled was use stretch cord in your design, and I think that's a little hard in a pendant.
So I did a pendant with stretch cord.
And well, there you go. Maybe it won't take it out. All right, you can take your pick. All right, you can take your pick for your third use. Okay.
If anybody wants to see it, the video is out on our main page.
Okay. Okay. And then now
I'll post it up for you this week.
Yeah, put it in the Star Special stash kit. And then if that wasn't already enough, guidelines. Remember, these are guidelines. They're supposed to be fun, all right, we're going to pick. All right, we'll do this one. Our challenge card is this one right here. It says, make a design inspired by the current season. Well, welcome to December, everybody. We know it is a big season right now. So, and here we are getting you guys pumped, ready, and let's get started creating. We've done all the collecting. We've been doing all the collecting of all the beads all year long, And then I like the expansion pack. She also has available different little additions. Okay, so some of those different findings, if you're kind of getting to know some of these different parts. So I've used, as you pull cards, maybe you like pull a thing and be like, I don't even know what that is, or I don't have that handy because I've never used that before. So there are going to be some things that can help boost you along that she also has as little add-ons. It's like the in-app purchases,
Right.
Not the deck card. Now, you got the little additions to go with it. So I don't know what kind of things, I've gotten like the C bundle.
Yeah. So there are extras to go with the C and the Sun and Sea deck had the bead mix. And then our non-jewelry and findings deck has 2 packages that are available. And the one you showed is for the non-jewelry hardware.
Okay.
And the other one is findings pack, which is just a bunch of different kinds of earring findings, clasps, all that. I didn't send you that one since I figured you have more findings than I have.
But I like it. It helps me, for you, especially for like times like this, because I really like. There's a big long feather in here. Even if I have a lot of things, it's still always nice to get a little bit of the creativity of the artisan, of kind of what they had in mind, too. So as we are exploring maybe new things, like I see these are little skewers. So I'm thinking those are little appetizer like sticks with your big whole beads, and that feather is like a little bookmark. So maybe you're like, oh, they make a bookmark term, piece I didn't even know, or getting those kind of bigger swivel findings that I see in here, and keychain rings. I love rings. Whoa. All right, so do you want to show us what's in? We'll take a look at Paula's space. If you guys have any questions, we're just going to be hanging out and chatting. I'm going to be opening up the kit too. Let's see. I don't know. I guess I could try to do the kit opening. So if you see, let me see if I can flip this down to make it easy or not. All right, we're going to see if I... need to go? Here. Look at that. All right. Let's see if that works. Boom. I'm upside down. All right, here. Oh. No, now I'm upside down. All right. That right side up for you guys. All right. Opening this is the other side. We're opening up Christmas. That loud in your face. Okay. Ooh, what are these? You got little cat charms. Look at these.
Yeah, that's just your bonus.
Bonus. We get a bonus right here. These are super cute. Oh my god.
I figured you needed some Peacock jewelry to go with your Peacock kit.
I love it. Okay, so this is coming with, look at these jumbo. These are huge, big rounds. What size millimeter are these, Paula?
So those are the 30 millimeter. So those of you that had the rabbit kit, it's the size of the large and the medium are the two sizes that are in the Peacock kit.
Nice. So I feel like I want to make a large peacock. So what size wire do you think we should be using today? I can flip to your table space and let's take a look at what you got going on here. Let's see. We'll move this to here. Let's see if I can.
Can you still hear me?
I might have to switch here.
Can you hear me now? No, I can't hear you, okay?
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, okay. Now
I don't
you
know
can still hear me though.
Yeah. I don't know how to make it. Oh, here. I think you can do solo. All right,
as long as everybody can hear me.
No, you were good. I think we're solid. There you go.
Okay. So there's two large peacocks that we're gonna make. We're just gonna make one of them because it does take a little while. So
Look
I'm gonna
how
make the
big and
bigger
beautiful
one.
those are. Those are so big and beautiful.
Yeah. And those are with a week or so ago, we made the turkeys. So we also have a turkey kit available in the same sizes, which I still have some of those as well.
They're such a cute package, and you're also going to get printed directions that come with it too,
Right.
y'all. So you don't have to have the video.
We have the directions, and this time I did add also. There's a QR code in here, which I did film a little video on making these on YouTube. So if you want the shorter version without all the back and forth talking, but this video is going to be more fun. You can just use that one for backup when you're not with us live. So.
Yeah, and it also tells you all the things you need. So if you once you make one, you can also kind of see.
Yeah, so for wire, I use a combination of 22 gauge and 20 gauge in these peacocks. And I'm using blue soft flex wire because I think it's really cool with the colors in this kit. So if you order from me, I do have a few spools for sale of the blue. I have more 22 than 20. If you only use one wire, I would use 22, but these are big, so they will bend a little bit. You may have to use some extra wrapping to keep them sturdy if you only use the 22 gauge.
Oh, I gotta find my 22 here.
You could do it all with 20. It's just the some of the wrapping is a little harder with the 20 just because it doesn't bend as freely with the 20. True, but
so that's maybe if you are more experienced with wire. Do you find like if you were to do it though, you'd like it better in 20 gauge or?
I would certainly consider doing the tail in 22. Sometimes the biggest problem for me is like when you're making the feet or wrapping right around the beak. It's a little hard to bend that 20 gauge, but you can.
Yeah, because it's all the same piece of wire.
Mm. So, right. I mean, like I said, you could do it with both. If you're just learning, I would, and you only had one, I would use the 22, but like I said, he will bend a little bit. So let's go ahead and look and we'll see what's in the kit. I'm just going to open the large Peacock kit, and you do have extras of most things in the kit. You didn't get an extra body. There's only one body and only one head, so don't drop those. Um, you do have, I gave you an extra tail feather, and you'll see there's also two different colors. They're really close, but there are two different colors of coin beads here.
Yeah.
Move some of these aside.
I love these big teardrops.
Yeah, and the other thing to realize, and these are real close together, so we've got some rounds here and some rondelles. You kind of want to separate those a little bit because the rondelles are going to be used in the tail. The rounds are for the neck. So.
Hey, Shelly. Hey, Carolyn. Hi, Diane. Hey, Jacqueline. How are you guys doing this afternoon? We're making peacocks today.
So something to look at here. Like I said, these coin beads, there's really two colors there. They're kind of subtly different, but there really are two colors, if you can tell. And the other thing to think about is on the tails, they are kind of two-sided. So one side is very purpley, and the other side is more kind of a goldish.
So you can decide which side you like to show in the front or the back, but just know that they're kind of slightly different in that way.
So on this guy, I alternated. So I have like 3 purples and 2 of the ones facing the other direction. And then I'm alternating the coin beads in his tail as well. So that's a consideration. The smaller one I made all one shade of the for the main feathers, but the coins, because I've given you 2 colors of coins, you will have to use both colors. So I win every other one. So, but that is a design decision you can make. And like I said, that you will have an extra one of these nice teardrops, so you can make a sun catcher or something with your extra. But the first thing you want to do is, I mean, the biggest part of making this is the assembling the tail is what's going to take the most time, as you can kind of imagine from looking at it. The feet take a little bit too.
But once you get going, so, I think it flows.
Yeah. So like I said, you have a couple different piles of beads. You've got these tiny black teardrops, and I don't know why this package had 3. There should be at least 2 in your package. Mine has a spare. It's okay. Those are the beaks.
Yeah, I had 3 in mine, I think.
And then there's a bunch of little bicones, and you could use a bicone for a beak if you wanted to. Those are for the tail, or I mean the toes and the feet, legs and feet, whatever. There's a pile of rounds. Those rounds are for the neck. And then there should be some rondelles that we're going to use as part of the tail. Like I said, you've got 2 different colors of coins. You've got the body bead and you've got the head bead. So all that is in your kit. Lots of nice heavy crystals.
I don't know, ladies and gentlemen out there. When you guys get a kit, do you guys separate all the parts, or do you just throw them on the mat and leave them? I sorted all mine.
So I sort mine definitely since we've got some different colors you got to and different shapes that we got to deal with. But and then I can move them out of the way when I'm not using them.
That
So
was
I'm
always
gonna.
something fun in the shop when people, would come in and they were learning jewelry for the first time, and we would teach these little, intro classes, and you get a couple friends that might take it, and it was interesting always to see what they would do when you would give them a bag kit. You'd have like one of them, and they would throw all of them already and start jumping in, and then you'd have one who would just keep everything in the bag and wait until there was like more instruction, and you know
I'm the one that dumps them out and sorts. I did that when I bought the Lucky Scoops from you. I always sort my beads.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm big oftentimes if I have a big bundled mess, I tend to sort by color, always by color.
Yeah, me too. Color and then size, I guess, if I need.
Well, for me, then it can depend on how much you have of a particular type of bead, pearl,
Right.
crystal, or something. It's always sorting, resorting. It's ADD is a little probably good thing to have if you're a beater.
Yeah. So the first thing we need to do is cut some wire for the tail. And this is where I definitely use 20 gauge if I'm using it, and it's for the tail pieces. So we're going to assemble each piece. And each piece, what I'll do is put a wrapped loop at one end, and then I do a rolled loop at the other end, which I'll show in a minute. You don't have to do a wrapped loop. You could do a simple rolled loop if you wanted to. Just make sure it's tight and doesn't get yanked. But it's totally for you what you liked it to look like. I like the the single wrap loop on top look, but like I said, it's just really up to you. So I would start by cutting about 2.5 to 3 inches. I recommend probably closer to three. I think I cut 2.75, so I cut it down the middle because I know that's what I use when I make my loop and the piece. But what you want, like I said, you need to make the decision not right now because each of these is a separate piece, but you do need to decide which color of your coin you're going to put with the large teardrop and which color is going to go with the rondelle. Um, because one of them you're only making four pieces and the other you're making five. Um,
Well, how much wire do we need to start with?
so I cut, like I said, little nine pieces that are about 3 inches long, a little under 3 inches long. But
Okay.
3 inches fine because you can always trim it.
Okay, so we're gonna make the little feathers first. I see.
Right. So the first thing I do is I make my wrap loop at the end. Um, and when I make it, I start out with about a half to 3/4 of an inch that I use to make that loop. Like I said, if you're using a rolled loop, you could probably use a little less. Um,
Hmm.
but certainly for beginners, if you're not comfortable doing the wrap loop. And I will say, I know all of you are out there are experienced beaters, but if you're not comfortable with wire wrapping, I do offer assembly for my kits. I do charge for it, but I have a bargain going on right now. I only charge you for the kit and an additional $10.
Wow.
You just don't get any of the extra beads or the written instructions. You just get the birds.
I didn't get that upgrade.
Well, like I said, I know people are intimidated by it. So if
I
you
always
really
love
want
the little
somebody to make it
figurines.
for you,
All right. Well, now I'll know for your other guys, so I can have a whole collection.
yeah. So once you have a rough loop, what you're going to do is put a coin on there, and then you're going to put your teardrop with the larger side of your teardrop next to the coin. And then on the bottom, I do just the rolled or simple loop, whatever you want to call it.
The cheater loop. That's what I call it.
Cheater loop, you know, like I said, whatever you want to call it. But you're going to end up with a piece that, you know, has the wrap loop at the top, the coin, and then
Okay.
the big
And we're
feather.
we'll repeat that 3 times.
So you're going to, 5, there'll be 5 pieces you want to do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You do have enough for, you don't have enough coins, matching coins to make 6 pieces. And you probably could use 6 pieces in your tail if you wanted to, but I think 5 works nicely, so that's what I
All right,
use.
I'm going to stick to your suggestion. Yeah. Yeah, Lana Kai agrees. She agrees.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I did jump ahead and make some of my wrapped loops ahead of time so you guys don't have to watch me make 15 wrap, you know.
But we
Wrapped
will
loops.
say that repetition is good.
Yep.
So I'm making a wrap loop on both sides. That's what I'm doing.
You can do a wrap loop on both ends if you want. Yep. The
I just
bottom part's not going to show, so that's why I do the cheater loop because it's quicker
Oh, okay.
and it's not really going to show up anywhere
All right, maybe I'll do that.
because it's going to be hidden in the wrapping you do around the end of the tail. And don't worry, if these coins, the colors are a little double-sided, but you don't have to worry about adjusting that right now. Those you can adjust later on. But when we start putting the tail together, the big beads have to be going in the direction that you want them to be,
Yeah, you can spin them.
because you won't be able to spin these once the big beads once we start wrapping the tail.
There's Snow White. That was what you wear for Halloween, Snow White.
All right, so like I said, you're going to do this 5 times. Let me show you the other piece real quick, and then I'll continue assembling here. But for this one, you're gonna make the wrap loop, and again, you need this to be the same size as the other tail pieces.
Try
But
to make
you're
them
not,
consistent, otherwise you'll notice it there at the top.
yeah. I mean, you want them close to being the same. They could, but this one, you're gonna make that loop, and then you're going to put one of your other colors, because I'm assuming you're gonna have to alternate colors because of how I gave you the kit. So, although
That's how
you could do all on one side and all on the one on the other side if you wanted to. It's however if you want your peacock to look. And then you put the one of the rondelles on there. And then this is where, you know, you may have to adjust later, but you're just gonna do your little cheater loop at the bottom. The main thing when you're cutting the wires, you want to make sure you can get at least a full loop though, because you don't want it to come loose. And you want to roll it until it's basically the same length as one of these other pieces. Which it's a little harder to tell because, you know, you're leaving a big blank spot.
Oh, I see. Okay. You might have to
So
say
you're going to make
that
4
again.
of those pieces.
All right, do that again.
Okay, so I'm going to use this one because I already have the loop on it. So I made my loop. I'm going to put my coin and then the rondelle. Now you could use the round in here, but I think the rondelle snuggles down a little better than the rounds do. But if you accidentally pick the wrong bead, it's not going to be the end of the world. And I think the colors are close enough that nobody would actually notice that you used the wrong one. But
And then yeah, can you show me what the stick looks like again? The
so
one
when you
we're
finish,
making.
your stick looks like this. It's got a bead, The coin bead, the rondelle, and then it's got an open space.
Wait, a rondelle.
So there's rounds and rondelles in there, and they're very close in color, so it's hard to actually tell them.
Oh, I
It's
see.
a little hard to tell them
That,
apart. But
that's the rondelle. That's what I was thinking. Oh, I thought I sorted them, but I didn't sort them good enough.
so there should be less rondelles than the
What are you mad about here?
than the rounds. But.
Why? You wanted it?
So those are the two pieces you have to make. So you need 5 of the one with the coin um, and the large teardrop, and then 4 of the other one with just the coin and the rondelle.
All right. Okay. So we want to make them all about the same length. I mean,
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you want them all to be about the same length.
But the one is just moving.
It's moving for now, but it won't be when we assemble everything. So.
Yeah, it just. All right. Got it. Got it.
It's basically gonna snuggle between the teardrops.
Okay. Well, it's all in the steps here.
Right. So, like I said, those are your 2 pieces. You can. I don't know why I have such trouble tucking in my pens today.
Hey. All right. I can make these little stick parts. All right.
So if you like me, I'm not paying attention. Sometimes I make extra pieces because I work until I run out of beads, and then I realize I didn't need all those because I had given myself extra beads.
Well, that's what's always nice. You have extra beads in the kit.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're like me, anybody that's watched me on my when I'm doing projects live, I always throw beads on my floor.
We love on the floor beads. Those ones are the best.
Yeah, I'm gonna have quite the collection once I get around to cleaning my behind my desk, I think. Someday.
Yeah. I have to be pretty good since I got this little munchkin running around.
Yeah. My cats do sometimes point them out to me.
Oh, mine bats them around. I have to be careful. It broke one of my nice gemstone, like tower pieces.
Oh no.
Yeah, because I, have the display right here.
Yeah, so I am using just a note on wire. So I'm using Softflex wire here, and their wire is really soft, which is also the reason why 20 gauge works just fine. But realize if you're using a different brand, it's going to be a lot stiffer, and you may have a stiffer tail or a harder time putting some of these pieces together.
All wires are not created equal. Beadoria.com also carries a Softflex wire too. Yeah. We like their wire. Bless you. Gesundheit.
And I did a thing, a pop-up a while back, just talking about that I like to sort of match my wire to my kits. So I like this blue, but I think silver would be beautiful too, and even gold on this. I think there's some gold in the.
Yeah, I think gold would be pretty. I use silver. That's what I of course have tons of all the time. I like silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Mama kind of likes silver too, right?
Yeah. So she says, yeah, I agree with that. All right. I have to make 5 of these. Okay.
So 5 of the big pieces and then 4 of the smaller.
All right, we're seeing if it's gonna be doable. If it's gonna be done by dinner.
Once you keep rolling, it's
not
that hard to. It's this is the longest part, and the feet will the feet is the other kind of complicated part, but it doesn't have to be, depending on what you decide to do for your feet.
We'll walk you through it.
We will.
Oh, I feel good. I have 3 little parts of the tail.
Woohoo.
Oh my goodness. Okay. What do we need now, honey?
Is anybody else assembling with us? Or they just watching to do it
Maybe
later?
they'll say, I'm going to go get a kit. And then, especially since there's a Black Friday sale, today is also the last day for Beadoria.com. If you guys are not on that email list, you should get on, because then you would know right now that you should be giving Beadoria thanks, because it is a BOGO sale on top of a discount. So we are giving you a buy one, get one free deal on Beadoria, and giving you 10% off on top of that. So it was our Black Friday weekend sale, and you can still cash in on that until this evening.
All right. Well, like I said, if anybody likes what they see here and they want a kit, buy it before Thursday, because you get at
Yeah.
least 25% off. And if you buy multiple things, you get buy two, get one free, and then 10 or 25% off everything else after that.
Yeah, let me just try to. So let me put up here. Yeah. Oh, using the mouse here. So maybe for what happened? All right, so this is what we're making, you guys. For anybody who is popping in, what happened? Did something scare you? Huh? Did something scare you? What happened? Look, I have 4 little pieces right now. Nothing like beating and baby.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. We went to our neighbor's house so we didn't have a long commute.
That's always nice. You could walk. That means you could, have a drink.
Exactly.
Mango. A mango? Is that right? All right, so I did 3 of those colors, and then I'm going to do 2 of this other color. So these are alternating back here.
Yeah, so the coins yeah, like I said, I had them build the kits so that they alternated colors, just because I thought it was more fun that way.
Yeah, no, I like that.
But the bottom ones are all the same color. So if I lay this out, so this is how I end up laying it out. And like I said, you can twist the top beads after you put things
Whoa.
together.
What is
But
that? Sorry.
your weekly
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. That was a child abduction alert.
oh no.
That was awful.
So what I do is I lay this out, so you'll see I have the ones that are just have the bead and the rondelle on it in between, and they do just kind of snuggle down in there so that it supports that coin, so that they end up being at the same level as the other ones when you put it together. But this is where you can play around, if you want to flip like the middle ones and end up alternating the bottom feathers, you can do that, or you can have them all be the same. Today I'm going to make them all the same. Be different.
I hear that. I love what's on your wrist here today.
Lots of Christmassy.
I love it.
I like to show this one off because that's what I made. I think that was the first bracelet I made that I shopped in your store way back in the day.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love that you still have it. I have a lot myself.
Yeah. All right. So once we've laid this down, we've got our design the next thing we need to do is cut. This is where I do like to use 22 gauge wire, but again, you could use 20. Um, I cut about 2 feet of wire. I would not cut less than 18 inches. It's better to have extra than not enough, although at this point we can add wire if we need to. It's it's not a huge problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. So what I want to do is slide these loops on the bottom. I'm just going to slide them onto my wire in the order that I want them.
There. We're okay. Okay. What is it that I can get for you? Yeah. We don't have that much, but what can we get for you?
And don't worry about, like what direction your wire is facing at the top of the tail, because again, that's something that you can fix later. But you just want to slide all this on there. So if you'll see, I'll stretch it out a little here so you can see. And like I said, I'm starting with 2 feet of wire. But if you think you're going to run short on wire or something, 18 inches is fine, but I wouldn't do anything less than that. You're trying to keep up, Lorraine. I did jump ahead a little by making some of my loops early, so I'm trying to go slowly here.
Well, that's okay. Look at
All
that. It
right.
looks so good.
So once you have all those on there, we just kind of want to slowly make it into fan shape. Now, you could put this all into the middle of the wire. I put it sort of near one end, and I don't know why I prefer that, but I do. So, but it's doesn't matter. If you want to use the middle of the wire, you can. And then I'm just going to twist this wire to connect it. Now, you don't want to pull too tight because you want it to stay in a fan shape. And it's better for it to come out a little bit at the bottom. Uh, that is the one thing you won't be able to.
Whoa. Easy, girlfriend.
I don't have my other turkey here, but what happens if you pull it too tight, you won't have this flat part here that'll sit on the table, and everything will be raised, which is fine, but just realize your tail will be a little not as wide. Now, this is the part that it's a little wonky as you start kind of wrapping. So you want to pull this. I'm going to just take my short wire and wrap it around the bottom of this first tail piece, and then uh, you can choose to wrap um, around the one that just has the rondelle and the coin, or you can just kind of skip over it, which is what I do, and just wrap it. It just gets wrapped in with the wire as I go around the other pieces. It's it's really just a preference thing if you feel more comfortable doing that. So once you've wrapped, like I just wrapped my short end around, so now I have these kind of close together. So now I want to make sure that my beads are lined up and that my tail um, is going the direction I want it. So what I do is I wrap between it and around, and then I come back through here and I come around the back side of that second one, and then all the way around, and then I'm coming between again, and then I'm now going to go around the third one.
Music time.
And it's okay if the first time around that your things are kind of loose, you can tighten them up It's easier to tighten up than to loosen them, actually. So, but like I said, I go all the way around and then back, and then the last one, I'm going to go around the back and all the way around. So,
Okay.
so after my first time through, this is what I've got. Now's the time to kind of make sure you're still in the fan. Make sure all of these teardrops are facing the direction you want them to.
So that's kind of reinforcing it by doing that weave through.
Yeah, so then what I'm going to do is just go backwards and I'm going to, continue that back around. I think I missed that one.
Is that your instruction?
Yeah, what she said.
Yeah, what she said. You heard that.
So, yeah, and you're just going to continue doing that um, until you run out of wire. And like I said, it gets a little easier once you get through that second pass because things will stiffen up. Um, you don't have to hold it quite as much. Wrap that one twice because I think I missed that middle piece the first time around. But, like I said, it's easier to tighten it than to loosen it. But
Yeah, always harder to undo it.
and we're going to do a second wrap around the top of the tail, anyways. So that'll help get everything in that final shape that we want it to. Now, at some point, you may want to go across just so you have more than one wire here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not required, so if you're running short on wire, don't worry about it. I just do like a little extra support back there. So, like I said, I just keep going until I run out of wire. And now, um, and if you want more wire showing, then feel free to add more wire and go across.
That's looking good.
What do we have, a drum set over there?
Yes. It's hard work around here. I even just had to change a diaper. That's why you heard silence for a minute from our end while you were cruising through.
Okay, so that kind of wrapped around the bottom of the tail. Now I'm going to take another piece. I'd still do like the 18 to 24 inches of 22 gauge wire again. And we're going to do the top wrap. So you have some choices here. You could do your initial attaching it to the wire to the tail down at the bottom, or you can just do it at the top. And I'm just going to do it up here. So I'm going to wrap between the two beads. Now is the time to make sure everything's facing in the direction you want it. So this one, I'm going to put that blue side forward. And I don't know if I got the same color here. Now, when I go to the next piece of the tail, I actually want to wrap under the rondelle. And then we're going to wrap around between the coin and the teardrop there. And then when I get over here, it's under the rondelle. And like I said, this is where I may not have switched those colors. That's okay. Things are definitely going to tighten up here. And like I said, I alternate, I go around and then back between. So each of these ends up being in the opposite direction. You could do the same direction if you wanted to, but it's just how I'm comfortable doing it. And then around this piece. All right, now I definitely want to double check that my coins are all facing the direction that I want them to, because now when I go back, it's really going to continue to tighten things up. So now when I go back, I'm going to just go below the coin. On all of these beads. So, and this is going to tighten them up. And if they're loose, then you may want to put a couple extra wraps in there to tighten them up so they don't move around as much. I mean, really, your peacock's going to be probably sitting on a table somewhere, so it won't move too much. But like I said, you might want to just tighten it up in case somebody starts playing with your figurine as it's sitting there. And then, like I said, you could do just the one direction, once back and forth. Um, like I said, I had 2 feet of wire here, and I ended up with, I guess, about 4 inches left. Since this is the front or the part that's going to be showing, you definitely want to tuck your ends in. Managed to tuck my tools where I can't see them. But anyways, there's what your tail looks like. And like I said, you can adjust these.
I forgot I had muted myself because she
You
was.
you talking to yourself?
Yeah, I was totally talking to myself. I was thinking, oh, that tail is so pretty now.
So now, like I said, and I could do this later, but I'm doing it now. I'm making my loops so they all face the front.
And you could really get fancy. You could make those little loops probably a little pointed and, instead of round,
Absolutely.
if you wanted, and get fancy with that. I could see that little change.
Absolutely. Whatever, like I said, it's you can make it yours. I'm just showing you how I make them.
Yes.
'Cause there are definitely some things that you can make decisions on the design. Obviously the colors and what alternates and what doesn't, what color wire you use.
Well, and just kind of
Almost.
seeing beads in a different way,
Mhm.
for those that, oftentimes are making a necklace or a bracelet or earrings, this is kind of really kind of getting you thinking outside the box and kind of seeing shapes and seeing how they come together. It's like playing tangrams with beads.
You can see filling them with UV resin. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, actually, one of the things I wanted to try, because you had the Grace Lampwork beads recently. She has a peacock tail one, and I thought about, I didn't have enough of them, but putting a couple of them like at the top of one of my tails.
Yeah. Look at you. You guys are thinking. I like it. Lorraine, don't feel bad. I only have five. I got my five big feathers, and then I've got my one on the stick. What do I have to make? Three of those, or how many of this?
Four. Four
Four.
total.
Oh
So
yeah,
there's
just make it the
9
middle.
pieces to the tail.
I've
Yeah,
got
whereas
one. I got a few more to go, but
our turkeys only have 5 pieces to their tails, so they are a little simpler if you
yeah, that one I got
uh,
through. But this one, but I love that they're big pieces. I did the big one first.
yeah, and quite honestly, if you really wanted to, just the purple beads look great for a tail if you think the rest of it's, you know, too confusing or beyond what you're willing to
No,
do.
you just watch a
But
replay. You can do this. You can do this.
it's not complicated. Like I said, the hardest part is just kind of being able to hold the it steady while you're doing that wrapping.
Well, I think that's part of wiring in general. So practice, as we know, makes things easier. You
Yeah.
know,
And
I've been
if you
having
end
to
up
do a lot of extra multiplication with my son here recently.
right, if you end up with things that are too loose, you can always like take the ends of your nose pliers and just kind of put a little turn in these wires or something, and it adds a little something and it tightens up your design at the same time. So don't panic if your stuff comes out kind of loose initially because you can tighten those wires and make it look a little decorative at the same time.
Yeah, a little squiggle. It was meant to be there.
All right, if people are ready, the next complicated part is the feet.
All right,
Um,
let's make it happen.
so you do have to make some decisions here. Um, so these ones I did beaded toes and beaded legs. Um, for my prototype, I only did the toes, so I just had the straight wire. So you could do that, or you could do what we did last year when we made the turkeys.
Let's do them differently.
So when we made the turkeys last year, I offered two versions. One is just this squiggle little wire. I don't know if you can see that. Um, if you're gonna do that one, I would definitely use 20 gauge wire for the feet because you need it to have a little bit of support because these beads are heavy.
Yeah, they
You
are.
guys may not have realized, when I shipped them, if for people that bought multiple kits, I had to up the shipping a little bit because they were heavy. Um, but I like the beaded legs um, and toes, so that's what I'm going to show you. But so for the large peacock, we need about 7 inches of wire, and I'm going to use 22 gauge here because when we take the wire around these little beads, you need some tight turns in there. Think about making the loop on the tips bigger and shaped like a tear. Oh yeah, that would be cool. I'm reading Tammy's comment. So, like I said, we start with 7 inches. So your little beads here, there's two colors here that blend well together. Um, I kind of do sort of separate them out a little bit. Um, I like to do a mixed color on my feet of my turkey. So out of the three toes, I have two on the sides that are same color, and the one in the middle is a different color. And then I just alternate on the legs. Um, so you want to start with whatever color you want on those side toes, and you just put one bead on, And again, this is a 7-inch wire, which I found works best for the big turkey because you got to get his legs around his big body. So once you have the one bead on there,
Mhm.
I push it up near the end to where I have about a 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to take that 1/2 inch and I'm going to bend it back around this bead and then wrap around the wire behind it. And I can almost do this with my fingers because this wire is soft enough.
Yeah, so
I'm going to
soft.
use my pliers. Um, I want to tuck the end in just so it doesn't poke into me when I'm doing the rest of this. And now I'm going to take the bead that I want on the other side. So these are the two side toes, right? And I'm just sliding that on. I'm going to wrap back towards the center and then around the center, and I'm going to come out at 90 degrees. So I have the two toes there, the wire sticking out. And now I've got my front toe, and I want to swing the wire back behind that bead, and then I'm going to come between two of the beads, and it doesn't matter which side. But now I end up with my little foot. So he's got 3 little beads there. So now you have to decide how many beads you want for his beaded legs. I think about 5 per leg works best. So I'm just going to alternate. I'm going to put 5 beads on here for the one side. And, it's really up to you. His legs are going to be underneath, so nobody's going to notice if you use all the same color or alternate colors. Um, but this is where it gets a little complicated because remember we need to make the other end of this look like this again.
It's like making
So
earrings.
there's
Make two.
right. So there's one leg, right? Now if this is too complicated, you could make one leg and use it and then just put a little loop
No, they got it.
on the end,
They can get
but
it.
but but now I'm going to put beads on, and if you want them to be in the same order on the other one, you go backwards for those. So I'm going to now put 5 more beads on in the opposite order. Although since I only 5 beads, it's really the same order, I guess. All right, and you may find that you have more of one color than the other. My eye is watering off, and I forgot to blink or something. I'm gonna have mascara all over my face when you guys see me again. All right, so I have 5 beads on there for one leg. I now have 5 beads on there for the second leg. Now I have to put the toe beads on. So you put the one that's going to be the middle toe on first, and then you put the 2 side toes on. So I have my one foot at the one end, then I have 5 beads for one leg, 5 beads for another leg, and then 3 beads for the other foot. Okay. I have to say, this was one of the hardest things for me to figure out was how to do this on one piece of wire. But once you see it, it's not so bad. So I'm going to slide that one toe up, and then I'm just going to wrap the end of the wire around it. I may have put that one up a little too far, but it'll be fine.
So we're looking at your creativity right here.
Well, I mean, it was easy enough to figure out how to do it and just put a circle at the end, but make it one continuous piece of wire. I had to, you have to kind of do this backwards a little bit. All right. So I've got one bead on there. I wrapped back and I wrapped it around there. So I'm going to slide the next bead down, and then I'm going to wrap towards the middle of those two beads, and we're doing the wrap back, and we're coming around at 90 degrees again. So just like we did on the other side. And then you're going to push the last toe up there. And I'm going to bend the wire towards the center there. And then again, I'm going to wrap between two of those toes. And again, it doesn't matter which side you go through. I tend to go the right side because I'm right-handed. I don't think it matters.
Well, you find what's comfortable, and in terms of sometimes like when we're working with a finer wire of where to put the leverage.
Right. So now I've got 1 foot here, 1 foot here, and then I've got 10 beads in the middle. So I want to slide 5 to each side. And then I want to find, approximately the middle. It doesn't have to be exact. I eyeball it, but you could certainly put it on your ruler if you want to be more precise. I take my round nose pliers in the middle of that, and then I'm just going to pull both sides down and around so that I now have a loop there.
We have now made a hole to string it.
You've now made what?
A hole to string.
Yeah. Yep. And don't worry about what direction the feet are facing or anything, because you'll have plenty of time to adjust those later. So I'm going to move my tools aside because from here on out, I don't really need tools. I just need fingers and wire.
It's like a finger food.
So I've got my tail, got my feet, legs and feet, and then his body is going to go on next. So now I have to decide how long I want his neck.
Well,
For this guy, I used 4. I think 4 is about right, but if you want your peacock to have a long neck or a shorter neck, it's up to you. There's plenty of beads in there.
It's just like people. Some have shorter necks, fat necks, wide necks, skinny necks, long necks.
So the little one, when you make the little one, it actually has the same size beads in there, so I only used 3 on him, but I used 4 on the big one. Like I said, that's what I use. So if you want it to look like mine, you'll want 4 beads.
Water.
And then you're going to put his head on, and then his nose. And like I said, you could, no neck, we could do no neck. Although I think you'd want at least 1 bead in there. Since when I do the turkeys, I make this a waddle, so I usually want the widest edge at the front. But since it's a beak, I want the smallest edge at the front. But like I said, you could, if you wanted to, you could use one of these little toe beads. The bicones would be fine if you want him to have a little blue nose or something. I'm going to use the black one. So now I've got it kind of laid out in the order that I'm going to string it up. You had to add to Kay's list of neck types. Oh, okay, but no neck.
Well, it's just like a beading design. I sometimes don't lay out a design. Sometimes I just kind of go.
Yeah. So now I can decide if I want to use, 20 gauge will give me a little more support in the neck. I may try to do it with 20 gauge. Sometimes I don't like that tip around the end, but we'll give it a shot. So again, here, I want at least 15 inches of wire, but I'm going to do extra because that just gives me extra wire to tighten up my whole design as I'm going through it. So if you're making it like I am, here's your extra pile of peacock colored beads that you have for making other stuff later. So I start at the tail when I'm putting this together. If you've made the tail so that it's got this kind of flat bottom and it's a stretched out fan, the hole for the body is going to sit kind of like right here, um, right at the bottom of this middle bead.
It'll nestle in. It looks like.
It'll nestle in pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick the wire. You know, there's bound to be some gaps in your wrapping there. I stick the wire through one side and then um, back through the other side. So I've got wire coming out. No, actually, so you want to try to make it coming out of the same spot on both sides. Um, Actually, I guess this we're gonna do it up. We're gonna do an up high wire. So all right. So in this case, I have it just wrapped around the basically the middle one. You want to be able you want it to be near the center where you're doing this because otherwise the body will sit off to the side a little bit from what the tail is. But we'll be able to adjust again as we go through. It's a little harder to do some of the extra reps with the peacock design uh, than it is with the turkey. But so I've got a short end of my wire and I've got a longer wire. So I'm just going to, twist them together so that I'm starting in the middle. And now I'm just going to put the pieces on in the order I had them laid out. So the feet go next, and the tail.
This is like the magic part where it's like it all comes together, all your parts and pieces.
Right. So put that on, then you get the body. And so, you got his little feet dangling, his tail, his body. And, if you're not sure how long you want to make his neck, I would start, like I said, put 3 or 4 beads on and then put the head on and see what you think. It's as long as you aren't wrapping back yet. Now, since I've switched to 20 gauge than 22, I cannot put a second one through there, so I do need to trim this end. Although I could actually, I'll just wrap it. Oh, I can always trim it later. I'm just going to stick it down. But here's where, like I said, you can, start with 4 or 5. If you think you want a longer neck, start with 5. Um, put those on, and then put the head bead on. Try not to bend your wire like I am, so that it's like, I feel like I have to get my wire straightener out here if I'm not careful. So I've got his head. Now you'll want to sort of bend it up in the direction that he will be sitting so you get an idea of whether it's the length you want it. But like I said, I know 4 beads works for me. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to I didn't think about that. You know what? His nose may not fit with my 20 gauge here, now that I think about it. Oh, nope, it does fit through there. But I do need my wire straightener because I bent my end of my wire outlet. All right. So there's his little nose. So now I have his tail, his feet, his body, his neck, his head. And what you want to do is like I said, do you want to bend it basically in the shape that you're going to want it to look and see if his neck is at the length you like. And then also that helps when you go to wrap it back that it's not going to be too tight for you to be able to bend it in the shape. So you want this tight, but not so tight that you won't be able to bend it where you need it. Go ahead and trim this wire down here before. So now I just want to bend back around his tail. And like I said, I'm holding this tight, but you do want a little bit of room because you want to be able to wrap between each of the beads. So I'm just wrapping around and in between. And then I'm going to go underneath the next bead and around. And I'm just going to do that with each bead. Now, like I said, I'm wrapping it under. You could do it on the top. It doesn't really matter. And you can bend this around once you're done if you don't have it too tight. But there we go. So I've wrapped it back from his nose, back to his body. And like I said, you can just adjust this a little before it gets too tight. Right? Now I like to, I don't have like a bunch of wire sticking out, so I'm going to wrap it under. This is another part where it gets a little tricky. You want to wrap it back and then around the body. And I'm going behind the legs at this point. But then I want to make sure that my leg beads don't get caught up in there. So I'm kind of pulling those out of the way. When I come back around, I'm going to go behind the leg beads. So I'm treating that loop just like it's a bead, right? And like I said, I bent his leg that one bit. But now I'm back at his tail, and now I can do a couple of wraps around things here just to, and I am just going through whatever I feel like here, um, just trying to put a little extra connection between the body and his tail, so that his tail isn't floppy. Like I said,
I do like that blue wire. Since you do see some of it. So if you're using gold or
Mhm.
silver, maybe a little bit more prominent. So it'd be good. Get some blue from Paula.
I wish they made purple wire. I was like, I think purple would have been really pretty. Um, so I am coming back around his body and around the lower part of his neck. I am not going to wrap back up his neck, but I will,
Don't wring his neck.
yeah, I will wrap this, back around a couple times until I run out of wire, basically. And you just have to be careful that the leg beads don't get caught in your wrapping. Very easy to do because I've had that happen.
Is that funny?
And I would just make sure you get to tuck that in somewhere that's not, like I said, not going to poke somebody and it's not um, sticking out the top or something where everybody's going to be seeing your design. So now I just I move his legs to the side, and I like to so now that I've got him assembled, I do take the feet and I tilt them up so it looks like he's sitting with his feet, sticking up towards the air, just because I think it's funny. So that's how I like to make him sit.
I remember when I did my turkey, I made his legs too short, but he's
It,
fine. He still stands up.
yeah, it is easy to do. That's why I said I think for this big one, 7 inches seems to work out. And then, just finagle
I
him gently until you get everything tightened up and in the direction that you want it. Um, if anything's too loose, you can always wrap more wire. Just make sure you tuck in your ends. It's not going to be that noticeable um, that you added extra wire later. Uh, and it's just a way to tighten things up. I have a, and sometimes you didn't pull the wire that tight like I just did, and you have this wire sticking out here. So I'm gonna, like I said, just use my pliers and I'm gonna tighten it by making little loops back here.
that looks so good.
So there we go. That's our big old turkey.
No, it's a peacock.
I mean, peacock, sorry. I'm the turkey, apparently. I don't know.
You're so funny.
And you can make his friend. You get the little friend. So, I use slightly less wire, and I do have the measurements in the written instructions for the small one. Um, this one I accidentally only used 6 inches for the feet. They're a little short, but they work. But I would do closer to 7. And if they're too long, you can always just wrap them multiple times once you have it on the wire, and you can use up that extra wire. So it's better to have them too long than too short.
So cute. People are loving that. So if you guys like how that turned out, make sure you guys like and share this post. That always helps us here in the algorithms on Facebook. And just the ingenuity of Miss Paula Montgomery. I just always find it fascinating, just the different ways we see beads.
Well, I have to thank my husband for part of that because at one point he said, "Don't you have enough jewelry?" So I thought, well, you know what? There are other things I could make.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I mean, we see that Tammy uses teapots and makes some beautiful things. We've seen some really great innovation coming out of our Star Special Stash group. So I love seeing what you guys are coming out with, and I love collecting your guys' work. Janelle and Tammy both love using teapots.
Teapots, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so but yeah, I love seeing oh, she shut the door on herself. Hold on. But that turned out so cute. So don't forget, you guys, it's 25% off. You can still grab a kit right now.
So kits start at $25, but they're on sale for 25% off, or buy two get one free, and that's any combination of kits, cards, or my
And
one bead mix that I have.
well, and they're big beads, you guys. You're getting a lot for your money on top of the design and her instruction. So awesome. Let's see.
Oh,
I'll switch back the mic. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll remove it from here.
Why
That
my
way,
pliers decided to jump off the table.
yeah, that's no worries. Oh my gosh, that's why does it feel like, oh, it's because I'm not the whole screen. I'm like, why does it seem cooler?
You feel so far away.
Yeah, or why is this pointed in a funny way? You can see the sun went down and it got cold, so I'm back in a robe.
We still have sunshine here in Arizona.
Yeah, so you can really see the difference of where we are. Oh my gosh, I love, like I said, Paula, I really always love seeing what you are creating, and just seeing beads in an all different way, So thanks for coming.
Thank you, and I appreciate that you had the beautiful crystals that make these projects so fun to work on.
Well, no, absolutely. I always love getting a chance to catch up a little bit too, and see how you've been, and then we get to see you for some more. Well, who knows what you're going to pull out?
Yeah, I'll have to give that some thought.
Well, but also if you guys join her group, she does one of those weekly polls every single week, and so you can do a little
Yeah.
make along with her anytime. And
We're making plants and garden stakes this week.
okay, so you can catch her replay. We also did one at the very beginning, so we did a little poll at the beginning, so you guys can also get inspired. You can also get your deck that's also on sale, plus all the little add-ons, and even some of that blue wire too. So
Yep. I don't have the wire in the ad, but it's at retail, or if you buy both, it's $10 for the combination, which is a little bit of savings.
I love it. Look, I got some of my feathers made though. I got.
All right. I look forward to seeing your peacock.
All right, get them posted into the group if you guys are making peacocks or any creations. You know, we always love seeing what you guys are making. And so thank you, Paula, so much for taking the time and sharing your creativity. And all right.
Thanks for Lana Kai for allowing me to monopolize some of your time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think she might have some more teeth coming in or something because she's really slobbery. Like it's so wet, and you can't tell in this lighting right now, but it's like really slobbery, and that's what happened when her first set of teeth came in, and she's just, I don't know, maybe she
for
needs a
some
quick
more
little nap or something. But I think she's an active one. Just like I said, when she was in my belly, she just like never stopped moving, you know, and she's still that way.
She's walking and running
she wants
now,
to get
right?
down, but then she wants to get back up, and it's like up and down, up and down. This is why people have kids when they're younger. It's like
It's
now I see. But that brings me to thanks again so much, Paula, for joining
Thank you.
us. Make sure if you guys didn't catch the whole piece, you can catch the replay, so you can still see it from the start to the finish, and then you can still, of course, also grab her kit. Her link is right here, so you can go check her out and get your weekly inspiration also from her.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna go on to the solo.
That's fine
here, and then we'll see you guys. We'll see you again soon, Paula.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. So let's see. So you guys, what a great time. We're always having a little bit of fun here. Let's see. Guys, let's change some things. Hi. Okay. All right. Well, that was a ton of fun. I love a little bead therapy. I always enjoy having Paula Montgomery. She's always a sweetheart. She has been with me for a long time. So she shopped in the store, and now she joins me here online as a regular, and now as a special guest. So I love getting to know you guys and keep up. So glad she could play with us here today. All right, so announcements for the week. It is going to be a busy week. Although I may not be here, that doesn't mean things are still not going. Okay, so we have a lot of things that are going to be hitting all right now. Okay, so we had a really hardcore November. Now we're getting all of our catch up. Okay, so with a lot of the things that were happening in our personal lives, we've got a lot of those invoices going to be coming out. Okay, so if you had shopped at all of the beautiful fun things on our Friday night lives, we've got all of the invoices should be going out, except for I am going to try to get the bag invoices out also maybe before I leave, but you're going to be seeing invoices all throughout the week, and I will try to answer questions, but keep in mind that if you don't get any responses on messages, just know I'm here, but I will not be here until next week. Okay, I'm going to be traveling to go out of the country, and so I'll be gone for a few days for a much needed little vacation. I'm going to a family wedding, and but it's kind of a speed trip. Okay, so I can't be away long, and so we'll get the invoices sent out. If you guys get those paid up as soon as I get back, I will be packing and shipping like a mad woman. Okay, so you know, I'm already still doing that. I'm already still catching up. I'm still trying to catch up on messages. So I apologize for, you know, anyone that may be waiting on a message from me. Send me a kind little bling and just say, I know you're crazy busy. Can you know, check on this? Know that orders were a little bit delayed. Okay, on top of it was the holidays, on top of like USPS is just like having things going on. Okay, so you know, just keep that in mind. Keep your patience, especially during the holidays. Everybody is working as hard as they can be, and so just remember to be patient here during the holidays. Okay, you know, we're all trying to have a good one, and you know, it's December already, and so let's get into the spirit of giving. The spirit of patience is also another good one, you know, because there is nothing that we have to have. You know, the only thing that you can't buy is time. And so I appreciate your time anytime you guys are coming here to share a little bit of you know, creativity here with me. And then I will see you. So we're off this week in terms of a live sale. And you guys, I didn't even get through all of the things here at we have somebody who's upset she closed herself out. It was a crazy weekend. Did you close yourself out? Did you close yourself out? Come on down here. Come on down here. Did you close the door on yourself? Did you close the door on yourself? You're so silly. How about another little gold? You want another little goldfish cracker? Where'd they go? There you go. Mom? Okay. We're just making our last minute announcements and then we can go. Okay. There you go. So good. Up and down, up and down. Okay, so so that's what the week is looking like. I'll be off on Friday. I'll be off on Wednesday. And then I'll be back at it on getting onto messages as well as packing and shipping like crazy. Okay, that's what the week is holding. I do plan on taking the rest of December off. I kind of feel like I might need to squeeze one more in though, because I don't know. You know, maybe the stress. Maybe we'll do it during Boxing Week, right after Christmas. We can do a little bit of fun. We can do a little bit of beading and a little fun sale too. Okay, and you can be shopping then for yourself. But I'm super excited. I will be keeping up with you. I'll certainly come on in a week, in next Monday, and certainly check in and give you the latest announcements and what is ever trending here in the bead life here at Stars Beads. Thank you. Thank you. You say bye. Bye. We'll see you soon. Can you see yourself? Look at you. Look at you. Look at that. Look at those teeth. Look at that smile. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us, and I'll see you when I get back. Thanks, everybody.